Hello and welcome to Tales from Nerd. I'm your host, Random Nerd 2016, and of course, this is the weekly podcast where I talk about the books that are coming out this week. And of course, these are books that I'm interested in, or they're in like books I'm really interested in, or like they have interesting ideas. Of course, you may not agree with them, but they are my picks. If you want me to read a book, let me know in the description down below. My plush, and let's see what he says for the week. Howdy doody. I'm still not caught up. I read way too many comics. But yeah, so we're gonna go to the first book of the week. We got a lot of books to cover, so I'm just gonna tell you it's a good jumping on point or not. So first book of the week is a DC comic. We got Action Comics number 1031, written by Becky Cloonan, Philip Kennedy Johnson, and Michael Conrad. Art by Michael Avon Oming and Daniel Sampere. The cover art is by Michael Janin. The price of the book is $4.99 because it does offer two stories in one. Most of the new DC books that we're seeing right now, they're having backups. Now you might like them, you might not, but so far I think they've been pretty enjoyable, and they do offer context to what's going on in the bigger DC universe. The price was $4.99, and of course this is a description of the book. After a war-torn battleship escapes Warworld and makes the perilous journey to Earth, Superman searches for answers about the identities of its mysterious refugees and their apparent link to the planet Krypton. Could there be other Kryptonians in the universe? Meanwhile, Atlantean scientists study the wreckage of the Warworld vessel and make a shocking discovery that could change the balance of power on Earth. And in this backup story, this stuck in the wrong timeline, Midnighter continues to gather intel on the Chrysalis in hopes of finding an answer. But will it cost him his relationship with Apollo, and who is being held captive at Trojan Solutions? Now, this is part two of a story, so if you want to jump on, issue 1030 is your jumping on point. But yeah, it's interesting. We got a story about Superman with Kryptonians and Warworld, something that was hinted at Future State, but maybe it'll happen, but we're not sure. It's a good jumping on point for issue 1030, so 1030 and 1031 at your comic book shop. Oh, and I want to apologize. I didn't upload last week because I literally landed from a wedding and I was working, so I had no time to film the podcast. So apologies for that. So I'm not gonna go over what came out last week, but a lot of books came out. So we're gonna go to the next book. Next up, we get a Marvel book. We got Alien number 3. It's written by Philip Kennedy Johnson, art by Salvador LaRocca, colors by Guru EFX, letter by Clayton Coles, designed by Jay Bowen, and cover art by In-Hyuk Lee. The price of the book is $3.99, and of course, this is a description of the book. Danger on all sides. Epsilon Station is overrun with danger, and not all of it from xenomorphs. Cruz holds mission information back from his soldiers, but he's not the only one with secrets. We are not who we say we are. Aliens. Oh wait, did I just go to the whole description? No, I did. Yeah. 399 description. Yeah. So yeah, aliens. It's really interesting. You want to jump on aliens? Issue number 1 is your jumping off point. This mystery going on. I'm digging it. It's a slow burner, and we're gonna see hopefully a climactic end to this book. But or it could go on. I don't know, but I really like it. It's good. Next up, we got a DC book. We got Batman slash Superman number 18, written by Jean Lin Yang, art and cover art by Ivan Reis. The price of the book is $3.99, and of course, this is the description of the book. The Dark Knight and the Man of Steel are on a mission to stop the godlike Autori.io from destroying the pocket worlds he's created. But where on earth did Autor.io even come from? The answer starts not from Earth at all, but with an ancient cult of World Forger worshippers on a planet far away. And if our heroes are to have a prayer of stopping this mythic behemoth, they'll need to get to the bottom of his power source, and quick. It's a race against time as the parallel lives of entire worlds hang in the balance. Now, if you want to jump on this story, it's issue 16 now. Issue 16, I think, sold out almost everywhere. It's a really interesting story. Basically, just the premise of it is there's this guy who's creating different timelines. You're getting two stories that kind of go together, but not really. And in the background, our actual Batman and Superman are trying to stop it. That's all you need to know. It's what if, but not a what if at the same time. So it's really cool. Issue 16 is a good jumping on point. And Jin Yang, I like his Superman run. I mean, I like his Superman, how he writes Superman. So there we go. Next up, we get another DC book. We got Batman Black and White #6, written by Scott Snyder, John Arcudi, Brandon Thomas, Pierre Collinet, and writer-artist Nick Darrington, and Elsa Charitier, art by Kari Randolph and James Herron, art and cover art by Klaus Johnson and John Romita Jr. The price of the book is $5.99 because it is an anthology book, so you don't need to just pick it up. But I'll read you just the $5.99, and of course this is a description of the book. The final issue of the acclaimed revival of Batman Black and White is here, and readers won't won't want to miss this deep dive into the new horrors of Gotham and ordinary citizens inspired by Batman. Iconic Batman scribe Scott Snyder reunites with his all-star collaborator John Romita Jr. to tell the story of a man who has been documenting Batman's history in Gotham for a very long time, and now he has something to say about the Dark Knight's legacy. Eisner Award nominee and the artist behind Batman Universe and Future State The Next Batman, Nick Darrington, writes and draws an epic tale introducing us to two gangs whose power struggle in Gotham has been going on longer than the history of the history of the city itself. The acclaimed creative team behind Infinite Loop, Elsa Charitier and Pierre Collinet, team up once more for their DC writing doubt with a frightening story of psychological horror in The Dark Knight. The fan-favorite co-creators of Rumble, writer John Arcudi and artist James Herron, spin a tale of Clayface and the evils lurking beneath the surface of the stories we love the most. The powerhouse creative team of writer Brandon Thomas and artist Carrie Randolph tell a story about one of Gotham's most impoverished neighborhoods, and how it ends up being exploited by the villains like the Mad Hatter. Yeah, so these are what, one, two, three, four, five stories written and drawn by different people. These are really good stories. If you want to jump on Batman, you're like, I don't want to get into the 100 issue run. I don't want to get into 6 issue minis. I just want to pick up a Batman book. This is it. It's it's a good detail of like how the writer writes Batman, different interpretations. So if you like that, Elseworld stories or maybe in continuity stories, this might be it for you. So issue 6 is a jumping out point because it's an anthology, so it's not gonna it might continue or it might not, but it's a fun read. Our next book is a Marvel book. We got Beta Ray Bill #3. The creator is Walt Simonson. The writer, artist, letter, cover art by Daniel Warren Johnson, colors by Mike Spicer, letter by Joe Sabino, designer by Stacy Zucker. The price of the book is $3.99, and of course, this is a description of the book. Bill marches into the heart of darkness. Beta Ray Bill takes a bloody path to find his glory and the perfect weapon to forge it with, and he's even got a few friends to brave the battle alongside him. But the journey is one even Odin would call treacherous, and not all of Bill's friends will survive, at least not in the form you know. Daniel Warren Johnson and colors Mike Spicer will break Bill's heart and yours. Yeah, this miniseries, I do believe it's only 5 issues. It's only 5 issues, so we're in the middle of the story arc right now. So you want to pick a Beta Ray Bill, issue #1, perfect jumping off point. Uh, you get to know the character, you get a little backstory. It's a perfect like world of like you get to see Beta Ray Bill, Thor's world, and he's off to doing his own adventure. And it's like probably one of my favorite books going on right now with Marvel. It's up there with probably Daredevil or Immortal Hulk. I just like it. I'm just ashamed it's only a 5 issue mini. But Beta Ray Bill, yeah, pick up issue 1 and 2. Pick up 1 through 3 when you're at the comic book shop. this Wednesday. Oh, and yeah, they're the comics that are coming out May 26th. So there you go. Before I go to the next book, if you want to follow me on Instagram or Twitter, my links are down below, or it's all at the same handle at @RandomNerd2016. The two websites I use for my comic book information, MidtownComics.com, LeagueOfComicGeeks.com, and my friend who made music. His link is in the description down below as well, and my comic book shop locator, which tells you where your comic book shop is at. So there you go. We're gonna move on to the Marvel books. Well, the next book, which is a Marvel book, we got Black Panther number 25, written by Ta-Nehisi Coates, art and cover by Daniel Acuna, art by Brian Stelfreeze, glitter by Joe Sabino, designed by Carlos Lau, designed by Anthony Gambino. The price of the book is $5.99, and of course, this is a description of the book. The final issue of Ta-Nehisi Coates' landmark run is the end of an era for the Black Panther as renowned writer Ta-Nehisi Coates concludes his Wakandan epic. Over 5 years, Coates has taken Black Panther to hell and back and expanded Wakanda into the distant stars. Now, in his final issue, he brings T'Challa full circle, back to the home he left behind and the crown he has never fully accepted. This is the story of a king who sought to be a hero who was reduced to a slave who advanced into legend, and the man who has struggled to hold up an empire in his bare hands. The journey will conclude, but the legend remains. Don't miss this. Don't miss the close of a historic epoch in comic history, including an epilogue drawn by Brian Stelfreeze. Yeah, this is the finale of Ta-Nehisi Coates of Black Panther. His 5 year run is coming to an end. Um, I jumped on later on. I've enjoyed it, but just delays, kind of made the book like not as exciting. I was excited for it, but it's just every issue got delayed. This book probably was one of Marvel's heaviest delayed books. Unfortunately, that kind of destroyed in steam it had. But I'll say this much: I liked it. It's a decent run. It may not be for everyone, but if you want to read a new Black Panther book, I do believe we're going to get a new issue, number one. But for now, read Trade by Ta-Nehisi Coates. It's inspired the Black Panther movie, so Ta-Nehisi Coates, thank you. And we're going to move on to the next book. We got, in the Image book, we got Department of Truth number 9, written by James Simon Fourth, art and cover art by Martin Simmons. The price of the book is $3.99, and of course, this is a description of the book. Cole Turner has seen firsthand and the horrifying ways collective believe shapes the world, and how theories can manifest and take physical form. But what happens when those thought forms start to have thoughts and desires of their own? What truths about the tulpas lay at the heart of the Tibetan Book of the Dead? Oh, that sounds good. But yeah, Department of Truth. It's so crazy. It's a really good book. It's what if conspiracy theories became real? Take that in. What if conspiracy theories became real? Now, I'd say just pick up the trade for that. But if you want to jump on, I do believe issue 8 is your jumping on point. I'm trying to pull up issue 8 is your jumping on point. Or yeah, I mean issue 8, but at the same time, issue 1 is just like the story is an ongoing story. So I'd say issue number 1, but it's very hard to hunt down issue 1 and a couple of the other issues. Trust me, because I'm like, I'll buy another set so I can have my friend read it. And I'm like, that ain't gonna happen, Chief, because it's sold out everywhere. But yeah, if you want to read it, read the trade. I think trade might be better for you, so I recommend the trade. And then hunt down the issues that you need to catch up with. Yeah, we're gonna move on to a DC book. We got Detective Comics number 1036, written by Mariko Tamaki, art by Clayton Henry, and art and cover art by Dan Mora. The price of the book is $4.99, and of course, this is a description of the book. Batman vs. Huntress. As the Dark Knight delves into the mystery of Sarah Wharf's murder, the only witness who truly knows what happened that fateful evening is Batman's only hope to clear his name. but another hunter is stalking the mysterious killer plaguing the city, and Huntress has also set her sights on Bruce Wayne. The violent vengeance of Gotham unleashes holy hell on Batman as trouble brews above and below the city streets. And the backup story, Huntress and the Hunted, zeroes in on Gotham's own violent vengeance. In the previous chapter, her world was shocked by the gruesome murder of a dear friend. There's more to the sinister scene than meets the eye. So this story started picking up in issue 1034. So if you want to jump on this detective run, I think Mariko Tamaki has nailed this run. I don't think I'm when I heard she was writing, I'm like, she wrote that She-Hulk run I didn't like, but then she wrote a good Future State book, Future State Dark Detective. I'm like, if this is her like detective run, I think it should be fine. I read the first issue. I'm like, it's good. So any hopes, any doubts I had, I think they're gone now. She can write a good Batman. So Tamaki's run is good so far. So 1034. This is your jumping off point. Next up, we got another Image Comics. We got Haha number 5, written by W. Maxwell Prince, art and cover art by Gabriel Walta. The price of the book is $3.99, and of course, this is a description of the book. Pound foolish makes a casserole. Every house is a haunted house, from the kitchen to the attic. This funny haha anthology of dejected jesters takes a trip to the grocery store with art by Eisner winner Gabriel Walta. Yeah. What I like about this miniseries is they're just one shots. And they're fun one shots about like situations maybe that shouldn't be funny, but at the end of the day they have a message. Whether dark or bleak or hopeful, it sends a message, and I think W. Maxwell Prince knows how to write this kind of dark, but makes you think story. So if you want to jump on, just pick up this. It doesn't matter what issue you jump on, you just read it and you're like, wow, wow. I personally like issue 2 or 4. It's a type because I liked issue 2 and I liked issue 4. Issue 3 was really weird because it didn't have words, but it was a clear story that, like, I understand. And what I like W. Maxwell Prince did is not everyone can nail it down. He wrote a story with barely any words, and I understood it. So not many writers can do that. So yeah, any issue is fine. This one's like probably the freshest you're probably ever get, but there you go. Good jumping on point. Next up, we got a DC book. We got Harley Quinn number 3, written by Stephanie Phillips, art and cover art by Riley Rossmo. The price of the book is $3.99, and of course, this is a description of the book. Harley Quinn here, still narrating my solicit text. My war of wellness with Hugo Strange kicks into high gear this issue, and things are gonna get ugly. Hugo is about to send his right-hand man, childhood Lockwood, Arkham's Asylum's most sadistic guard, after Kevin and me at our first support group meeting. Folks, some things in this world are sacred, and I'm not gonna stand for this. Hugo Strange never picked a fight with someone like me before, and he's not going to like the results. Yeah, this Harley Quinn run is fun. If Yeah, just pick up issue 1 and decide for yourself. It's a good jumping up one. I've enjoyed this. I've always been afraid to read a Harley Quinn book, and I like how James Steinfeld wrote Harley Quinn. And I'm like, okay, Stephanie Phillips is writing Harley Quinn, a new jumping off point for me. Perfect. Because Harley Quinn was going to, like, I think it had a 75 issue run. I'm like, I don't want to jump onto that, and I'm a really collector. Like, I gotta start issue 1. It's fine if you're not an issue 1 type of person. I just am. But yeah, this run is really good, and I'm hoping it could stick the landing. So there we go. Perfect jumping off point is issue 1. So there you go. Next up is a Marvel comic, and I do believe we got the next 3 are Marvel comics, so I'm not going to announce what they are. It is Heroes Reborn number 4, written by Jason Aaron, art by Adam McGinnis and James Stokey, and cover art by Lionel Francis Yu. The price is $4.99, and of course, this is a description of the book. With the cosmic might of his power prism, Dr. Spectrum has become the most feared lawman in the heavens. But now the dark forces of deep space have sent the galaxy's most notorious bounty hunter to end Spectrum once and for all. That's right, here comes Rocket Raccoon. Plus, in a backup tale, the all-new Starbrand finds herself alone in a strange new universe. Um, I haven't read any of the Heroes Born books yet. I'm very behind, and I do believe this is going to week. I believe this is going for like 7 issues, so it's like right in the middle right now. I'm barely getting to like the last week of April, so I need to catch up very badly. But from what I hear, everyone's enjoying this. It's basically what if the Avengers never got together and we have the Squadron Supreme, aka the Justice League. But it's interesting. I'd say for an event, just read the trade. I think that will save you a lot more money. Just my personal opinion, because these events do take a while, and I think they work better in trade because it's a lot cheaper for the person. And again, $4.99 is a bit too much, but we'll see. When I read, when I finally catch up, I'll let you know. Good job at that point. If you want, do tackle this story. Heroes Born #1. Next up, we got Heroes Born Magneto and the Mutant Force #1, written by Steve Orlando, art by Bernard Chang, cover art by Nick Bradshaw. The price of the book is $4.99, and of course, this is the description of the book. Can Magneto resurrect hope for the mutant kind before it's too late? Years ago, Magneto and Professor X led Earth's mutants in a final push for independence against the Squadron Supreme of America. What followed was the Squadron's Mutant Massacre, a violent rebuttal that left mutant kind forever wounded and Xavier dead, or so Magneto thought. Years later, Magneto discovers Xavier's clinging to life in the astral plane and gathers his allies for the first of its kind rescue mission. Too bad the same mission puts the mutant force back on the squadron's radar. Failure means the last gasp of mutant kind, but success means the first breaths of something even more elusive to the mutants of Heroes Reborn Hope. It's a tie-in. Um, I'll read it because it's Magneto, so we might get something interesting written by Steve Orlando. You don't need to pick it up, but if you want to, there you go. It's a side story. Not everyone picks up the side stories. I do sometimes because I don't know. We get another Heroes Reborn title. We got Heroes Reborn Siege Society #1, written by Cody Ziegler, art by Paco Medina, and cover art by Ken Lashley. The price of the book is $4.99, and of course, this is a description of the book. Black Widow and Hawkeye lead an assault on the Squadron. After the civil war that split Squadron Supreme in half, Nighthawk formed his own squadron in Europe, but not all of Europe is okay with it. Baron Zemo has put together his own team to take them down. Who's on that team? Natasha Romanoff, Clint Barton, Scott Lang, and Victor Creed. The Squadron doesn't stand a chance. Um, this is actually a really good premise. I like it. I like this. I've never read anything by Cody Ziegler, but Zemo with a team and an alternate maybe timeline. Don't know. The premise is cool, so it's a pickup for me. But for you, you might not want to pick this up. Again, another side story. The final book for Heroes Reborn, not for Marvel, but Heroes Reborn Young Squadron #1, written by Jim Zub, Steve Cummings, and Carl. Art by Steve Cummings, cover art by Carl Kershey. The price of the book is $4.99, and of course, this is a description of the book. The Squadron Supreme of America have taken root in the hearts and minds of all, but none more than the trio of youthful champions who call themselves the Young Squadron: Kid Spectrum, Sam Alexander, Girl Power Kamala Khan, and the all-new Falcon Miles Morales are here to fight for true justice, and the American flag, or are they? Beneath the flashy facade of the colorful adventure, something grim is stirring, and Deadpool is determined to bring it to light. Uh, we got Deadpool in this. Cool. We get the Avengers young kids as possible allegories as Teen Titans. So take it where you can. It's where my Jim's Up. I like Jim's Up, so I definitely had to read this, of course. Uh, it's another side story. You may want to pick it up, you may not, but there you go. There's the description and the writers. Next up, we got an indie book. We got Aftershock Comics. We got I Breathed a Body #5, written by Zach Thompson, art and cover art by Andy McDonald. The price of the book is $3.99, and of course, this is a description of the book. A science fiction horror series about social media, big tech, and influencer culture. The door to the Galbacut Underland is open. The world is changing, minds are merging, and a fungal god seeks vengeance. Battered and broken, Annie is trapped in the middle of it all. With her head full of voices and nowhere left to go, only one question remains. Will she save herself or the world? This book is really good. It really delves deep into social media, how it affects everyone, and how popularity maybe just, you know, gets to you and all that. So it's a fun read. You can hunt down the issues, or if they ever release a trade. Do they even release trades for Aftershock Comics? I don't know. I gotta look that up. So I'll look that up in my own time. But yeah, if you're lucky enough, just pick up all the issues. If not, if they release a trade, there you go. But if not, there you go. I've said there you go way too many times in that sentence. All right. Next up, we got another Marvel book. We got Miles Morales Spider-Man #26, written by Saladin Ahmed, art by Carmen Carnero, cover art by Tarun Clark. The price of the book is $3.99, and of course, this is a description of the book. The Clone Saga continues. Two Spider-Men find themselves face to face with the three terrifying clones. Peter thought he knew what to expect out of a clone saga, but this one throws him for a loop and Miles into the deep end of the ocean. Miles tries to keep his spider side away from the rest of his life, but this time he's got no say in the matter. The storyline started in issue 25, so if you want to jump on Miles Morales and this um, clone saga storyline, issue 25 is jumping off point. I haven't read it, so we'll see. And next up, we got a DC book. We got Milestone Returns Infinite Edition #0, written by Reginald Hudlin, art by Bill Zankowski, and art and cover art by Dennis Cohen. The price of the book is $4.99, and of course, this is a description of the book. At last, it's the return of the legendary Milestone Comics. This one-shot features 24 all-new pages chronicling the events of the Big Bang, the police brutality protest gone wrong that changed the fate of the city of Dakota forever by unleashing a wave of superpowers across its population. As the world watches, a bullied teenager will become the hero known as Static. A framed scientist will go on the run as the super weapon hardware, and a stranded alien will meet an uh, ambitious young woman who will transform his life and remake the pair as the all-powerful Icon and Rocket. Also included is the 17-page premiere story originally released online during the world-famous DC fandom event, further expanding on our heroes' origins and where they're going next, and setting up an entire world of allies, enemies, and surprises. The original milestone changed the face of superhero comics forever, introducing the industry to a wave of black talent who still shapes the conversation, and the new milestone intends to raise the bar. This is the perfect jumping on point. Don't miss out. So yes, I'm excited because we get Static and Icon back in comics. I'm so down for this because I love Static. I love the show, and I'm happy it's on HBO Max. And to see that we're getting a Static something with Static is just like perfect. So if you want to read where Static begins in the this DC universe, this is a good jumping off point. I'm very excited for this. Next up, we get another DC book. We got Mr. Miracle, The Source of Freedom, #1, written by Brandon Easton, art by Fico Osio, and cover art by Yannick Paquette. The price of the book is $3.99. Of course, this is a description of the book. Spinning out of the feet of DC Future State, the story of how Sheila Norman became the Mr. Miracle of tomorrow starts here. The Mr. Miracle show used to be the hottest ticket in town, whether you caught him on stage escaping from previous traps or spotted him on the streets of Metropolis taking out bad guys. What Sheila Norman forgot is the first rule of both showbiz and superheroing: always leave them wanting more. Now it's time to start showing the world what a miracle man can do. Showbiz superhero rule #2: timing is everything. There's a new performer in town who wants to knock Mr. Miracle off his pedestal and stake a claim to his famous moniker. Can Sheila break free of this trap? Why, yes, that is a clue. So I like the Mr. Miracle story we got in Future State. I think it went to Future State, uh, Superman's the Metropolis, and the Superman Worlds of War, something like that. It's interesting. It got spoiled. The World One spoiled what happened in Metropolis, and then finish in the Worlds One. It Timing didn't go well for that book. But I like Jill Norman, and I'm like, cool. I like this new Minister Miracle, and we're getting a book. I'm like, cool. I'll read it. I'm like, slowly, I'm getting more books, and I like it, and I don't like it at the same time because waste so much money. But I like what I read, so it's not bad. Next up, we got New Mutants, a Marvel book. We got New Mutants #18, written by Vita Ayala, the head of X himself, Jonathan Hickman, art by Rod Reese, letter by Travis Lanham, designer by Tom Mueller, and cover art by Christian Ward. The price of the book is $3.99, and of course, this is a description of the book. Looking for love in all the wrong places, the New Mutants' path seems simple: train, guide, and mentor the youth. Sure, they didn't ask for the job, but they've been figuring it out together, right? How wrong could it go? The New Mutants are about to find out. Yeah. So, New Mutants, if you want to jump on this, issue 14 is your jumping on point. And Vita Ayala, I think she's knocking it really good in this New Mutants run. I thought Jonathan Hickman was going to continue writing this book, but I guess he's just like, I got too much stuff to write about, so here you go. Ed Brisson. Alright, Ed Brisson, Vita, y'all. But I like it. It's not bad. It's what's his name? Nightmare. Is it Nightmare? What's the villain name? God, I had the same issue last time. Let me go find these villain name. Shadow King. There we go. Shadow King is the villain for the book. Well, he's a hidden villain because he doesn't. It's complicated. Krakrow's complicated, but issue 14 is jumping off one. Next up we got a DC book. We got other history of the DC universe #4, written by John Ridley, art and cover by Giuseppe Camuncoli, inker by Andrea Cacci, and colors by Jose Villarrubia, and lettered by Steve Wands, and designed by Kenny Lopez, cover art by Marco Mastrazzo. The price of the book is $6.99. But before I go to the description, it is a black label book, so what these stories do, they deep dive into the characters' lore, how they began, who they are. Sometimes it's really dark, sometimes it's not. It does deal with other stuff since it is a black label book. So I don't recommend this to your younger kid, but if you want to deep dive into this character, go for it. But if not, there you go. Yeah, and the description is, and this is the description. Words can be tricky. Renee Montoya has known this for most of her life. Words taught her to feel ashamed of her gender, her sexuality, and her ethnicity. The people of Gotham City taught her to hide who she was, to fit into, be loved, and in doing so, they taught her to hate herself. But from that despair came something unexpected and powerful. Renee's path from a closeted police officer in the 1990s to her time as a faceless vigilante known as the Question is one that inextricably linked with queerness. It is one that is defined of binaries, outmoded and hateful stereotypes, and words that propagate them. As a Question, Renee stood in contrast to society's rigid expectations of her, held a mirror up to the world's face, and asked, "Who are you?" The long-awaited miniseries, written by Academy Award winner screenwriter John Redley, from 12 Years a Slave and Let It Fall, and beautiful illustrated by Giuseppe Camuncoli and Andrea Cacci, continues to explore the mythology of the DC Universe as seen throughout the prism of DC superheroes from historical disenfranchised groups. Basically, it's a one shot. They're just a story, but they're just one shots. So you could jump on this and read it. I liked issue 1 and issue 3. I didn't like issue 2 that much, but they do hold strong at what the stereotypes were at the time and facing like this wasn't right at the time and this is what should be. It really deep dives to the character's core and I like that. So there you go. Next up we got another DC book. We got Robin #2, written by Josh L. Williamson, art and cover art by Gleb Melnikoff. The price of the book is $3.99, and of course this is a description of the book. After the shocking events of Robin #1, Damian has learned the deadly rules of Lazarus Island the hard way. Now he must prove that he belongs in the tournament and uncover its secrets, but his only ally is the daughter of one of his greatest enemies, Ravager. In this tournament, only one fighter can get out alive. Ready for round 2? Fight! So, I haven't read this one. I haven't read issue 1, but I hear it's just Mortal Kombat. Robin in Mortal Kombat. So Damon's gonna kick some ass. I'm excited. So issue 1 is your jumping off point. Next up, we got Something is Killing the Children #16, written by James Tynion IV, art and cover art by Werther Del Eldera, colors by Mikel Muerto. Actually, that's a really cool, badass name. The last name. So there we go, Miguel Muerto. The cover price is $3.99, and of course, this is a description of the book. Story Demanded begins here. The origin of Erica Slaughter. What shocking events brought Erica to the House of Slaughter? And what did she have to do to join the Order of St. George? The secrets are revealed here for the first time in this perfect jumping off point for new readers. There you go. If you want to jump on something Killing Children, now is the time. This is literally the hottest book on the market right now, and I'm happy I've joined on. So if you do want to read this, there you go. Perfect jumping off point. If not, read the trades they've released for Something in Skeleton Children. And we got 5 books left. Oh, thank God. Sorry for the longer podcast. It's a lot of books to cover. It's a lot of books to cover. Another DC book. We got Stargirl Spring Break Special #1. It's creator by Lee Motter and creator and writer Jeff Johns, and art and cover by Todd Noak. The price of the book is $5.99, and of course, this is a description of the book. Horny Whitmore's spring break plans aren't like your average high schoolers. Instead of hanging out with friends, she's headed out on an adventure with her stepfather, Pat Dugan, aka Stripe, and teamed up with his former team, the Seven Soldiers of Victory. The soldiers are forced to reunite again to honor the secret 8th Soldier of Victory. What other secrets lie buried? And what does it all mean for Courtney's future as Stargirl? Um, okay. I like this because Jeff Johns is writing it. Also because I like the show Stargirl. I'm excited for the book. Now, I think, oh yeah, Spring Break is coming pretty soon. Or no, Spring Break is over. Yeah, this came out. Yeah, this show already came out already. But oh well. I'm excited. It's gonna jump on out point. If you love the show, you'll love this because it's written by the same person, literally. So there we go. Next up, we got a DC book. I think, yeah, Just the next book's also DC, so I have to reiterate myself. It's Strange Adventures number 10, written by Tom King, art and cover art by Mitch Gerrits, art by Evan Shanner as well, and letter by Clayton Coles. The price of the book is $4.99. Of course, this is a Black Label book, so it's not for your younger kid. It deep dives with sadness and death. So this book deals with that, and this is a description of the book. Once upon a time on Rand, Adam Strange made a deal with his neighbors and foes to take a stand against the invading pickets. Now on Earth, he is trying to do the same thing, to get all the heroes to rise as one to keep the marauders from doing to his home planet what they already did to his adopted one. But the original deal was a devil's bargain, and Alana Strange has received a mysterious letter that may tell her more than she wants to know. If she wants to keep keeps her husband safe, it's time for her to go on the offensive. Um, yeah, there's only 2 issues left, and this book is over. Now, I'd say read the trade or jump on issue 6, but I say just read the trade when it comes out. I think it's a lot safer and be like, yeah. I'll say this much: Tom King's writing is much easier when it's all connected, not issue by issue. So there we go. And of course, we got Times Academy number 3, written by Tim Sheridan, art and cover art by Rafa Sandoval, and the price of the book is $3.99. And of course, this is a description of the book. Don't miss this crossover with Suicide Squad. Hunted by the deadly Task Force X, the new students of Titans Academy will have to grow up fast or risk losing one of their own even faster. Why has the squad put a target on new speedster Bolt's back? And why, in its charge on Titan's Island, is Waller's team of villains being led by the mysterious Red X? So we're getting deep dive more into the Red X mythology. This is his first appearance on comic. He's only appeared in Teen Titans from 2003 to 2005. So I'm interested in it. I haven't read issue 2, but it is a continuation from Suicide Squad number 3. So there's crossover, but without making it a big event. That's how DC should do it. Marvel, if you're taking notes, this is how you should do events. Just do simple crossovers. That way you don't have to charge up so much. But yeah, jumping out point, Teen Titans number 1. Teen Titans Academy number 1. Next up, we got another book. We got a book by IDW Publishing. We got Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles The Last Ronin, number 3, written by Tom Waltz, Peter Laird, writer and cover art by Kevin Eastman, art by Ben Bishop, colors by Arif Prianto, Jeremy Colwell, Daniel Chavez, Robert Nugent, and cover art by Izu Escorza and Isaac Escorza. The price of the book is $8.99, and of course, this is the description of the book. Unexpected allies from the past reveal a possible path to salvation as the Foot Clan sweeps New York City for the Rogue Ronin. A final desperate plan in the name of vengeance is made. Spanning decades, this issue's actions and intrigue will set up the assignment final issues. Oh yeah, final issues. Yeah, so we're still gonna get more. I'm excited. I like Last Ronin, and I'd say jump on issue 1, but issue 1 is like practically sold out unless you get the director's cut. Get the director's cut, then get issue 2, and then issue 3 is this. But this book is good. A it's like Old Man Logan mixed. Yeah, I mean that's pretty much. It's kind of like Old Man Logan, basically. Kind of. It's not there, but it's a dark future. Only one turn left, and that turtle's on a suicide mission. So there we go. Next up, our final book of the week is a Marvel book. We got X-Men number 20, written by Jonathan Hickman, art by Francisco Mobili, colors and cover art by Sonny Go, color by Clayton Coles, designer by Tom Mueller, and cover art by Lionel Francis Yu. The price of the book is $3.99, and of course, this is the description of the book. System online, processing. That's it. If you want to jump on X-Men, this is it. I mean, we only have 2 more issues, and Gary Dugan is relaunching the title with new number one, and Jonathan Hickman is going to write something else. I'm sad this is not going to continue on. I've enjoyed Jonathan Hickman's run, um, but if Jonathan Hickman's leaving the book, he's going to be writing something probably more important to Krakoa and the whole X-Men universe. We're still in the early stages of John Hickman's mind, so there we go. That's the end of the podcast. I hope you take care, everyone. Hope I don't miss more episodes. If I do, just know that I'm busy with life and this is just a side gig or hobby. So yeah, take care, everyone. As always, in this dark, well, not dark world, things are kind of getting back to normal, but we'll see. But yeah, take care, everyone, and as always, peace.